Before I start, these are my notes. I didn't have any note cards. The President of the United States is coming to your city, Dallas, Texas. The date is November 23rd, 1963, and it's a cool November morning for John F. Kennedy to drive through Delaney Square. JFK is about to come into your viewpoint. You're about to see the President of the United States, and suddenly a shot rings out. First one misses, second shot hits him, third shot proves fatal. The president has been shot and killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. Unfortunately, assassinations are not uncommon in the United States, as JFK was the fourth president to be assassinated and the youngest president to be assassinated. Now, to understand what happened on that fatal day, you have to understand what led up to the assassination, how the assassination was carried out, and the aftermath of the assassination. So in other words, before, during, and after. Now, the information and research done for this speech has been gained from National Archives, Dallas Police reports, and databases provided by Fresno State. Now, first you must understand the before. JFK was elected president earlier that year in 1963, and his main mission during his inaugural speech, as stated, was to, 1, be hard on communism, 2, solve humanitarian issues within the United States, and 3, to be tough on secret societies, particularly the CIA and other ones that were inside the United States at the time. And he came to Dallas to deal with some diplomatic issues among the political parties, and also just because it was so close to Veterans Day, he was at one of the ceremonies for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Now, on the other hand, Lee Harvey Oswald was discharged from the United States Navy in 1961, and then he moved to the Soviet Union, particularly in Belarus, where he settled down and had a child with his wife, who he married in Belarus. And at that time, it was said that he was having meetings with Dmitry Patoreyev, a Russian diplomat, and this is where people think that he got his ideas for assassinating the president. Now, you have to understand the during of this assassination. JFK was at the wrong spot in the wrong spot at the wrong time when he rode in on his presidential limousine through Delaney Square. Now, Oswald was said to be shot JFK from the 6th floor window of the school book depository in Delaney Square. As I said before, the first shot missed, the second shot hit, and the third shot proved fatal, and he was rushed to a hospital, and he was treated for his wounds, but would succumb to them and died an hour later. 99 minutes after his death, LBJ would be sworn in as president, and JFK would be buried at Arlington National Cemetery only 2 weeks after he visited it beforehand. Now, Oswald, just 2 hours after he shot President Kennedy, was arrested by Dallas police, where he shot Officer J.B. Tibbet, and then was arrested and brought into custody. Now, only 2 days after that, he was being brought from custody over to higher power within the justice system, when a man named Jack Ruby shot and killed him. Jack Ruby was a nightclub owner and essentially part of the mafia. And he was arrested for killing Lee Harvey Oswald. Now I'll tell you about what happened after. Some short reforms that happened right after the fact were, 1, that the Secret Service would be used in greater numbers, essentially to just make sure assassinations don't happen before, and this has proven effective as no other presidents have been assassinated after that. And second, they banned open vehicles for presidential vehicles, so you have to have a closed top. Now, who was there to investigate what happened and to prove what happened that fatal day. Now, the Warren Commission was created just for that. Their goal was to prove that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, which in the end, that's what they found. But this leads to many questions about the Warren Commission, as their findings prove to be kind of suspicious in a way, because the documents for the JFK assassination were not released until 2017. Although they were not released in 2017, and it was pushed back to 2022, where the Biden administration had to push the CIA to release those forms. And still, they only released 75% of the Warren Commission's findings, which leads to 25% more, which leads to think, why did they not release them all? And this leads into my next point. Many people think that the CIA had been involved in the JFK assassination. First, you have to think. First, one heavy point is how did Jack Ruby know to kill Lee Harvey Oswald, and isn't that something that it's essentially a double lightning strike, where the killer of the president was killed by a normal sort of dude only 2 days later. And another confession by a ex-CIA officer, he stated that, and I quote, "Yes, I had bought 4 rifles for the Kennedy assassination," end quote. And at the same time, many people did not like Kennedy, the military-industrial complex, the CIA, and the mafia, as the Kennedy family, before being elected president, was a part, and they got their wealth from the Prohibition era, where alcohol was banned. The CIA didn't like them because of him going after secret societies, and the CIA had a lot of secrets kept from the American public and from the American government itself. The military-industrial complex did not like him because of the Bay of Pigs incident. To conclude this speech, to understand the JFK assassination, you have to understand what happened before, during, and after the assassination. Now, it's tough to really know what happened that day, as it happened almost 60 years ago. And everybody who was on the Warren Commission is now, unfortunately, deceased, so it's likely that we will never know what truly happened on that day.